Mm-mm. Okay, we are here. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago, and today we're here to talk about what went down at Double or Nothing 2026. So, without further ado, let me share with you what went down at Double or Nothing. We have a lot of matches to talk about here. I'm not even going to talk about the buy-in because it doesn't matter. I need to talk about the full show. So, we kick off the full show with FTR versus Cage and Cope in a I Quit match. And if Cope and Cage lost, they'd have to retire as a tag team. That was the stipulation made forth for this match. So, the first bout of the main card was the I Quit match for the tag team titles. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler put the belts on the line against Cage and Copeland. With no tags and no rules, there was little time spent on traditional wrestling. All four men came face to face before they started brawling. It took less than 2 minutes before the crowd started chanting for tables. Belts, barbed wires, chairs, ladders, they were all brought into the action, but neither team wanted to quit. This match was comprised of a series of spots and sequences instead of one cohesive pattern, which is usually how stipulations let this work. The match had a little bit of everything and had the crowd hooting and hollering the entire time, especially when, Cage came out or when Copeland came out, because he gets the crowd singing his theme song, and every time it's phenomenal. When Stokely got involved, Beth Phoenix came out to even the odds. FTR attacked her, but when they tried to put her through a burning table, she pulled Stokely into the path, so they crashed through it instead. Beth found Copeland's spiked club, and he made Dax say, "I quit," with it to win the match and the belts. This might not have been pretty, but it was nonstop fun, so grade a B+. And yeah, I thought it was pretty good too. Mick Foley, ladies and gentlemen. Mick Foley, yup. Mick Foley, bang bang, is now All Elite. It's funny how the crowd chanted, "He banged your mother," after Cage said that to FTR. Funny. B+. I think it deserves a higher rating, so we're going to change that to an A-. We saw Okada versus, of course, how Jim Cornette says it, Take a Shit. So if I say take a shit, you know who I'm talking about. The International Championship was on the line, while Okada and Take a Shit finally met for the grudge match they have all been waiting months to see. Don Callis joined the commentary team to watch his clients go to battle. These men are on even ground in a lot of ways. Okada has the experience advantage, but other than that, they are almost mirror images of each other. Their size, power, and style are similar, and neither man felt like the underdog. The Rainmaker began to control the pace and start using one foot to cover Take a Shit to disrespect him. The challenger got in some offense now and then, but the champion had the upper hand for quite some time. They paced this match perfectly, so they were able to sell all of the big spots and take their time without feeling like they were going to slow down. Each sequence got a little more intense. Callis tried to get Okada to finish the match instead of inflicting more damage at one point. The final few moments were the most exciting of the match. Both men came close to winning a few times, but when it was all over, Take a Shit pinned Okada to win the International Championship. Hell of a match. Kyle Fletcher came out and hugged, of course, the champion, the new champion, and he stood with Take a Shit and the family back down. He gave the new champion a hug before laying him out with a clothesline. Take a Shit is finally out of the Don Callis family, and Fletcher should be now chasing the belt as it looks. So graded an A-, and sure, we'll stick with an A- because the minus is for all of the bullshit selling that they said that they did. Yeah, when you fucking hit somebody with like a pile driver and then get them back up and then they hit you with a clothesline, that's not selling at all. Athena took on Mina Shikawa in the Owen Hart Women's Tournament quarterfinals. The first of the 3 Owen Hart tournament matches saw Athena take on Shikawa. They got right into the action and started throwing strikes. The forever champion, because remember, she is the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and she has held that for more than 1,000 days. The forever champion took control early and brought Mina out of the ring so she could throw her into anything she could find. She started to show signs of frustration when she couldn't put Shikawa away. They put on a hard-fought match, but there was a couple of moments when it looked like they wanted to do one thing, but they ended up doing something different when it didn't work. Athena scored the win with her finisher and advanced to the semifinals of the tournament. So Athena beat Shikawa. Graded a B. Well, we can keep rolling with this. Jon Moxley took on Kyle O'Reilly, baby. Moxley put his Continental Championship on the line in a match with no time limit against a man who holds a couple of wins over him already. Kyle O'Reilly, who holds the Trios tag team? I don't know if that's the Trios tag team. That could be the Trios. Anyway, rules stated nobody else could be at ringside, so their respective stables gave them pep talks before they went to the ring. They sized each other up a bit as they started trading holds. Neither man was rushing, and both took their time easing into things. It felt like the story they were telling was that Moxley knew he couldn't out-wrestle KOR. So, he was looking for other ways to combat his offense without giving him too much space. When O'Reilly accidentally kicked the ring post, it took away a big part of his offense. Moxley laughed as he attempted a kick and fell to his knees. He began to focus all of his attacks on Kyle's leg. O'Reilly eventually found a way to apply the ankle lock, as he had used in a great success, but Moxley refused to tap. This match was great on a technical level, but it felt like it took them a little too long to match the intensity of their previous encounters. They were going for more of a slow build, but it would have served them better to make this feel more violent. Now, again, I don't necessarily, cut into these, I just keep going down the list and running with it. But I don't want the violence. I want the storytelling. And if this is the technical wrestling that they are showing, that's great. Perfect. You probably wanted more violence to be in this. It's not a, match where anything goes. If it was anything goes, then yeah, this match would be A+. It's not. The technicality of this match is perfect. It reaches all the levels, and they're trying to tell a story, like they said, So for this, after a long struggle, O'Reilly was forced to tap to an ankle lock from Moxley. Both of their stables joined them in the ring. Mox and O'Reilly shook hands as a sign of respect. For that, and for that technical wrestling match, I have to upgrade this grade from a B+ to an A. I love technical wrestling. When you can show me technical wrestling from two superstars who know how to wrestle each other very well, this is how you do it. And for that, there's no violence. There's no need for it. I could put this as an A-, the minus being without the violence, but again, I don't need a match with that much violence. I need a match with moments. I need a match where wrestlers are actually going to sell and make this shit look good. Therefore, I'm bumping this up to an A, and the grade shall be changed in the very end, as you can see. We moved on to another Owen Hart tournament quarterfinal. Samoa Joe took on Will Ospreay. While Joe was still posing for his entrance, Ospreay hit him with a springboard cutter to get the match started right away. He tried to stay on him, but Joe recovered and took him off of his feet with one big shot. The Arsenal Assassin hit a 450 before attempting an armbar, but the Samoan submission machine countered and took a breather at ringside. The match was more of a back-and-forth fight from that point forward, but Joe had the upper hand had an upper hand a bit more often until Ospreay started building up a head of steam himself. This was a very entertaining contest that made both guys look great. They blended their respective styles to create one of the more competitive fights by this point in the show. After avoiding the Muscle Buster, Ospreay was able to hit the Hidden Blade for the win and advance in the semifinals. Graded an A-, and remember, Joe selling is so perfect. Even Ospreay, the whole come get me, and then walk away is so great. I love that for Samoa Joe. I always have. You know what I mean? It's great. Graded A-. We move on to our next men's quarterfinal tournament, the third and final one. Bandito took on Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. This might just be a tournament match, but the build-up to it felt like it was more personal. They ran at each other as soon as the referee called for the belt and started throwing hands. It was pretty even until the Ring of Honor champion used one arm to lift Swerve up and dump him over the top rope to the floor. Once Strickland recovered, he started taking Bandito apart piece by piece. He slowed the pace down and tried to keep the high flyer grounded. They did a great job making it hard to tell who would win. Most of the matches on this card have been somewhat predictable, but this one kept fans on their toes. Bandito looked like he had the match won with the 21 plex, but his injured neck was unable to hold the bridge. When he went for it again, Swerve countered it into a vertebreaker before hitting the house call for the win. Swerve Strickland winning, B+, and I agree. We got our women's Fatal 4-Way match. Takala, Hikaru Shida, Chris Statlander, and Jamie Hayter. The women's world title was on the line next when Tequila? Is that? I don't know how you say your name. Tell me how her name is pronounced in the comments down below. Tequila. Tequila? I don't know. I'm just gonna call her Kala until I know her name. Okay. Faced three former world champions in Shida, Hayter, and Statlander. All three challengers teamed up to take out Keela right away, but it didn't take long for Hayter and Statlander to begin fighting. Shida and Statlander worked together, but Hayter and Keela managed to stay in the fight. This was an enjoyable competitive showcase of these 4 stars. Keela was the most entertaining, thanks to her trash talking, but all 4 competitors contributed to the fun. It felt like everyone was on point and worked hard to make sure the crowd was invested. Keela retained the title with a stomp to Statlander to score the win. This was a tons of fun, and all 4 women should be proud of their performance. Graded a B+. Oh yeah, we got to our Stadium Stampede, and you know how I don't like this shit. This year's Stadium Stampede match featured 14 competitors, making it the biggest bout on the card. Jericho, Benjamin, Lashley, Perry, Omega, and the Young Bucks took on Ricochet, Khan, Loa, El Idolo, Davis, Connors, and Finlay. And David Finlay, just to mind you, not Fit Finlay. Not Fit Finlay. David Finlay, his son. As soon as the referee called for the bell, all 14 men started brawling. This match had so many people fighting in so many ways and so many places, that it was impossible to follow everything. But that is always how this kind of match goes. The important thing is that AEW did a good job keeping the cameras focused on things that mattered and big spots, and that the crowd cheering. While some people stayed in and around the ring, others fought into the backstage area. Grading a match like this is tough because it's so different from everything else we saw on a regular basis. There wasn't much wrestling happening or psychology involved. But this was packed with a lot of fun moments into it, so there is no doubt that it was something entertaining. After a chaotic and right around the circle, like 6-man or 8-man or 7-man super kick, after a 7-man super kick to one person, Jericho hit a lion salt and won the fucking match. I don't know. I'm going to grade this a B-, so it's going to fall short a little bit. And mind you, I'm not a big fan of the fucking Stadium Stampedes. So, yeah, B-. Which brings us to our main event. Our hair versus title match, which honestly there's just no sense to doing. But by the looks of it, it feels alright. The main event brings you Allen and MJF. But it wasn't just for the world title. MJF also put his hair on the line in order to get Allen to agree to a rematch, which I felt was a bit stupid, but whatever. The introductions took longer than usual, but it helped create some anticipation for when the match started. Allen used a side headlock takeover a few times, but MJF kept kicking out. Allen sent him out of the ring and went for a suicide dive, but MJF sent him crashing to the floor for what looked like a rough landing. Hope he's okay. From that point, the former champion was in control for a long time. The majority of this match was MJF controlling the pace and long periods of time, while Allen had short bursts of offense. It made the champion feel like an underdog, despite how many dangerous opponents he has beaten. They had a good competitive match, but on a show with so many strong performances, it was hard for this one to stand out the way it usually would. It was the kind of match that would have stolen the show most nights. In the end, Allen stretched himself too far, and MJF was able to get the pin by using, of course, the side headlock takeover and regaining the title. Now, after the match, as Allen laid on a stretcher, Kevin Knight showed up in what looked to be like an attempt to protect Allen. He ended up turning heel when he hit a frog splash from the top rope onto the downed former champion, pushing him off of the fucking stretcher. So graded a B plus, and I agree with this. It looked pretty good. I mean, obviously MJF was not going to lose in New York, especially regain the championship. Come on. As for the final word for this show, what was the final grade? Well, Sunday's Double or Nothing was another successful event for AEW, especially when it comes to certain people. Just about every match delivered something different, especially the Stadium Stampede bout that took the fight all over the arena. Still kind of different. When it comes to the best bell-to-bell performance, that goes to Okada and Take a Shit. They put on a clinic that gave us a new champion and a satisfying conclusion to the story of Take a Shit leaving the Darling Callis family. Even if a couple of matches didn't live up to expectations, everything else was so good that it's safe to call this one the strongest PLE or pay-per-view of the year so far. Ending the night with Kevin Knight turning heel on Allen was unexpected, and it will be interesting to see where AEW goes with it. As for this, we counted in all the grades that we changed. So I'm going to stick with this grade A minus as the final grade. So yeah, A minus as the final grade for this pay-per-view. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. Double or Nothing, ladies and gentlemen. The next pay-per-view, as far as I'm concerned, will be So Forbidden Door, I believe it's Forbidden Door. I will make sure to give you Forbidden Door. And like I said, I'm building up adding some more content to the channel here with AEW. If you guys want to see me do the Dynamites, let me know in the comments down below. I will definitely take an interest into doing that, even though I can't really watch them on TV. But yeah, I'd be interested to seeing where they start to go with this moving forward. But yeah. I will see you guys tomorrow to give you the Raw review. Peace.